Make it worse, why don't you? Everyone's already talking about yeah. And hey guys, it's Matt'sLife back again with once again another video. Is it me or is it getting really like dark in here? Oh, if it like wasn't so disgusting I'd be happy. My god, I cracked myself up like, oh my god, yes! This is everything. Okay, I remember. Okay, so the title of this video is, oh, I fainted again. And yeah, it happened. So basically what happened is like a couple of months ago, I got, okay, I'm gonna get really freaked out talking about it. But ew. A couple of months ago, I had a blood donation talk. I'm saying it makes me feel a bit weird. So I fainted in this video. Lol. The views! There's a talk about blood donation, and I was like, oh no, I can't handle blood, and I can't handle a talk about it. But I was like, it's just a talk. And yes, my friend was like, oh, are you not gonna like feel ill or whatever? And I was like, no, I don't think so. But I was starting to feel a little bit weird, and I was like, but like, what's the worst gonna happen? I'm not gonna die. It can't be that bad. How wrong I was. Kind of talking about it, and I was like, I'm fine. 15 minutes in, only 15 minutes left. I am good to go. I'm not gonna faint. I'm totally great. Like, I'm at the pinnacle of my health. But like, I started fidgeting a lot, and I was like, oh no, I'm starting to externally freak out and while internally trying to calm myself down, which is kind of how things work. If I don't externally freak out, I'll internally freak out. And I was like, oh, I know that this is happening. There's some pain going on my back right now, and I don't know why. So I was like, oh no, I'm fidgeting. A teacher then, oh no, actually I was, no, yeah. Oh, that really hurt. Okay, so that hurt. But anyway, so the teacher then looked over at me, and I kind of was looking to the left of me, and she was on the right. And this girl who I'd never talked to before, like, kind of looked at me and like tapped on my shoulder, and I was like, ew, don't tap my shoulder, don't touch me. But so I was like, what? And I was like, there's some teacher being like, oh, he's fidgeting, he's gonna faint, like, you, like, I just knew it. Turned around, and there's a teacher being like, are you okay? Oh my god. And I was like, yeah. And I, of course, in my head, I was like, no, get me out of this bloody hall. But I, of course, didn't say that. And I, of course, said at the start of the meeting, they were like, if anyone needs to leave because you're feeling faint, just leave. It's okay. And I was like, ugh, the embarrassment of leaving early. I don't think so. But yeah, so then I was just like, nah, I'm fine. Don't look at me. And then, of course, because I wasn't externally freaking out, I stopped. Just sat there and was like, right, okay. And I'm limiting myself from externally freaking out because I didn't want to attract attention. And so I start internally freaking out. I didn't really realize, and suddenly my head went really fuzzy, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna faint. And then my vision quadrupled in front of my face, and I was like, like, honestly, that was me. Apparently I went like back like that and was like because my sound that made. But apparently, yeah, the way my neck went back, I was like choking, so I was like dying, and then going like you know what I mean? So totally dying on the ground, not on the ground, in my chair. Everyone around me, the last thing I remember hearing is when I fell, is all the chairs behind me, like it was like a full hall, and all I heard was as like all the chairs sort of moving back at the same time. And I was like, oh my god, I have the force. I fell backwards and all the chairs moved, and then I woke up and I was like, oh, people moved those chairs because I fainted, not because I suddenly like moved them all myself. So I didn't have the force, sadly. But that's what I thought, and I was like, oh my god. But that was in my like weird like state of mind where I was like fainted. But I don't know how I had like a thought process when I was in this process of being fainted. But for some reason I did, and that's what I remember thinking. It's obviously not true, but yeah. So anyway, so then I kind of woke up and I was just laughing. I was like, because in my head I was like, well, in my head I thought I was in bed, and I was like, oh my god, lion, yes please. But then I was like, wait a second, where are we? Like, where am I? What am I doing? And I was like, oh, you fainted, didn't you? So, because I have quite good conversations with myself, and one of myself is very judgmental. I'm sounds schizophrenic. Maybe I am. No, I'm not. But so anyway, so my inner judgmental head was like, you just fainted, you idiot. And I was like, lol. And then my normal, usual, ha ha ha, lol, I'm a mess self was like, lol. So I just started laughing, and there's these teachers around me, and they're freaking out, and they're literally just like, oh my god. And then while I was like on the ground suffocating or something, all I heard was, okay everyone, get out your phones, and it's not for what you think it is. And I was like, are they gonna take Snapchats of me? Like, I was literally like, no, this is not happening. And then someone made a joke about that later on in my classes, and I was like, oh my god, I thought that was gonna happen. Like, I was literally like, in my weird state of mind, I was like, everyone's gonna take photos of me. Which I kind of wish they did. How funny would that be to put in now? But no, of course, school, you're not allowed photos. Not allowed camera. But yeah, so I literally was just like, oh my god, they're gonna take photos of me, and blah. And then, because they said it wasn't for what they thought it was, I was like, oh, never mind, they're probably just gonna text someone about, and it turns out they texted someone about the donation. Which, why am I burping so much? Which, by the way, no one gave me a number for it, so I feel like they were just like, he can't even handle talking about it, there's no way he'll be able to handle giving blood. And I was like, I can't. Like, I would literally die. So yeah, so they just kind of give up on that idea, I guess. But so anyway, so then I woke up, and everyone was just kind of freaking out about it, and I was laughing my head off, and they were like, are you okay? Why are you laughing? And I was like, in my head I was like, because I did it again. I fainted again. Of course I bloody did, like 2 years later. So just laughing my head off at the fact that this happened, and I'm sure they were just like, this kid is like deranged and possessed, like something happened. And then basically the end of the story is that I went to all my classes. I felt very sick the whole day. I actually felt really bad. Like, I'd never felt that bad before. But I was walking around the school, and I was like, oh my god, like, this is awful. So, turns out, ever since then, my squeamishness has got so much worse, and I can't even handle talking about viruses, I can't handle talking about the flu, I can't handle talking about anything that's related to injections or, oh, this isn't even thought. Like, well, no, I'm not even gonna think about it. But yeah, so I literally can't deal with anything right now, and it's really annoying. I'm trying to, like, work through it without having to get, like, a therapist. So, like, yeah. But ever since then, it's just been really bad. Like, it's like bad. And by bad, I mean my squeamishness. I've just been squeamish about everything. Like, it used to just be like injections, and now it's like, oh my god, every single little thing that's gonna go happen is gonna go bad. And then people were like, judging me, being like, why did you faint? Like, if we were just talking about it, we didn't even see blood. And I was like, shut up. I fainted because he held up a pint of milk and was like, look at the blood, this is how much blood you're donating. And it was like a pint of milk, and I was like, visualization, like, I can see blood. Like, I couldn't, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I can see that as blood. And he just kept going, blood, it's blood, it's blood, this is how much you're donating. And I was like, nope. So I noped out of the situation, fainted, goodbye, end of my life. So yeah, so now anytime anything bad happens, it's always like, oh my god, Matthew, I'm so sorry. Like, in my chemistry class, my teacher was talking about how, do you know a pipette, if you don't look it up, the judgment in that, like I knew a pipette like 2 months ago. But yeah, so basically she was talking about how a student, it's basically this long glass rod, it's really thin, and she was talking about how a student put on like a pipette filler, which basically like goes on the top, and it like sucks the liquid from the conical glass into the pipette. Oh my god, look at me, I sound like a chemistry. Oh my god, right. So my iPad, you know, like in the past couple of videos, I'm gonna add this in, I've just been ignoring the fact that my iPad was dying, and it went from 10% to 5%. It just died, and I thought it just deleted the video I was in the middle of recording, but it didn't, thank god. But what I was saying so yeah, so I was like, oh my god, yeah, look at me, I'm like a chemistry student or whatever. But so anyway, so they were apparently sucking up the liquid, and they didn't hold the pipette at the top. and they held it like in the middle, and it snapped, went into their wrist, and this is glass, during school. There's a pipette hanging from their wrist. Like, what? If I'd seen that, dead. And so my teacher was telling the story, and I was just like I always do this. I always make like a big deal about things. Like, I'm such a drama queen. I'm not putting that in because that is, oh my god, that's everyone just gonna be being like, anytime I'm dramatic and I say I'm not a drama queen, they're just gonna be like, you admitted it. I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna keep that in. But don't use that video against me, that footage. I can be a drama queen sometimes. And so I was like, oh, like, I was just imagining that happening, like, psh, glass in your wrist. And so I was thinking of that, and I was like, oh my god. And my teacher looks at me, and we'd already discussed the fainting thing a couple of weeks prior, and she was like, oh, sorry, Matthew. And I was like, make it worse, why don't you? Everyone's already talking about it, and they just started forgetting, and you just reminded them all what happened. And of course, I sit in the middle row, and all of the front row just go like, and I was just like, oh, shut up, go away. So yeah, and I was like, oh, but I was just reacting to the story. I reacted as a normal person would. I wasn't actually getting squeamish. But yeah, so it's quite funny. But so yeah, so now anytime something disgusting happens, it's always like, haha, Matthew's gonna faint again. We're doing a heart dissection in biology. Matthew's gonna need a bloody ambulance. Like, ha ha ha, lol. Because it's so funny to laugh at my expense. No, I get it. I do it all the time. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if there's any further developments, I will let you know. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big like, subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!